Hey everybody, it's Ron Betta with Fit Pro Systems. If you're joining me from Udemy, thank you very much for coming over and taking a look at our YouTube channel. So I hope you'll subscribe, like, and share these videos with others that are interested in fitness. My goal here is to help personal trainers take some of my experience and maybe use it or tailor it to their needs and hopefully become better personal trainers in general, because I really see this field as something where the industry itself could really improve if we work together. And I want to make sure that all the trainers out there have some of my knowledge, some experience that I share with them, because I've just seen so many trainers that come in and struggle, and they try really hard, and they probably could do a really good job if they had a little bit more coaching. But oftentimes in many of the gyms that are out there, we don't see that happen. The fitness manager needs you to make a quick sale. They just want to see that revenue, and if not, then it's kind of sink or swim. So hopefully some of this information will give you a little bit better handle on what it is you're doing, and if not, you can always move on to the next video, because I'm going to keep putting out as many of these as I can. On the topic that I have for today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what clients are going to want to talk about when it comes to nutrition. Many times I have clients ask me what they should eat. I had a client a few years ago that would ask constantly what they should eat, and would want to know every detail: how many almonds, how much oatmeal, how many pieces of fruit, how much water. And no matter what I did for this person, it was like talking to a wall. They just wouldn't listen. So it got to the point where I made a list of what I wanted the client to do. Now, I was very careful not to give them a diet, so to speak. I didn't want to become off as a nutritionist or as a dietitian, but I did want them to know what they should be consuming in terms of healthy quality options versus junk food, or not having any real clue. So I kind of guided them a little bit with nutrition, but I was careful. But I gave them a list of foods that I thought they should eat. And I went through this person's chart, and I looked at my notes, and I talked to them about what foods they liked to eat, what foods they didn't like to eat. So when I tailored this little list of foods that they should consume, I put it in a nice document, printed it for them, gave it to them, and they left, and they came back a week later for their training, and I said, how'd you do with the nutrition that I worked on for you? Like I gave you a list. Did you go to the grocery store and buy the foods that were on the list? Did you start eating the foods that were on the list? What happened? And this person said to me, well, I didn't really want to read a list. I just wanted you to tell me. And it was shocking, because I had told this person, 30, 40 times what to eat. In conversation and talking with them, in sharing information and explaining the reasons for the nutrition is important. So if you're going to tell somebody, well, you should have some more salads, or you should eat more raw almonds or pistachios, you need to have a reason why you're explaining the nutrition to them the way you are. And I say that because two things are true. First, you want to be very careful about what they're eating, because some of the foods a person eats can impact the medication that they're on. So you want to be careful of that. You want to make sure that if they're on, when you're talking to them, that you make clear, hey, I'm not a licensed nutritionist or a licensed dietitian. And certain areas of the country will have certain laws and regulations. So be very careful and mindful of that. If you have to talk to your attorney, if you have a business, or if you're in a gym, just be careful not to present yourself as somebody that is a nutritionist or a dietitian, because in some of those cases you can run into legal issues. But again, I just wanted this person to have this basic level of information and explained to them consistently. These foods are considered by many to be superfoods because they're packed with lots of micronutrients. They're good quality fat, high in fiber. Whatever I was explaining to this person wasn't resonating, which is why I created the list. The list did not work. And at some point you have to realize that a lot of these clients that we train, they will tell you they want to be fit. And I don't disagree that they may want to be fit a little bit, but a lot of them want to be fit. And what I mean by that is they see somebody on Instagram or on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and the person's exceptionally fit. They're doing some kind of balance activity on a cliff. They're able to do 1,000 pull-ups in 30 seconds, whatever it might be. And they think they're going to do the same thing. They want to do the same thing. They want to look as good as that woman or that guy on the video. What they don't see is what that person did to get to that level, or what that person is eating to get to that level. And if they saw that, they wouldn't even try. They wouldn't even make the attempt. They're not going to make smoothies. They're not going to restrict calories. They're not going to really look into the nutrient-dense foods that they need to consume, the whole foods, quality foods, to get the right fuel on board so that their body can burn the fat and they can get really lean and see those muscles or drop body fat or whatever it might be. So what I have found is that the easiest way for me to communicate with my clients is to ask them what they currently eat, find out a little bit about the foods that they enjoy. Some of this is cultural, religious. Some of it's based on time of year. Here in the United States, when Thanksgiving rolls around, which is our celebration really of when the United States was first being formed, where the people that came from England, or at least Europe, started to meet with the people that were native to the current United States. They started to meet, and there was a meal that took place, or kind of a symbolic moment where we celebrate, we give thanks for the union of people that came together and met for this apparent dinner. And so we celebrate this every year, and at that time of year, there's a lot of food that goes on the table. A giant turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, all kinds of smaller foods like sweet potatoes, carrots, whatever, all kinds of traditional foods to the United States, and they're often very high in calories. They're some of them are great, and it's not a problem, but we tend to overeat at that time of year. So when that happens, I have to be aware as a trainer that, okay, the holidays are coming up. Many of my clients are going to gain a lot of weight. Why? Because it's the holidays. They're just going to do it. No amount of coaxing from me is going to help. I can't motivate them. I can't change them. I'm not really looking to. I want them to enjoy their life. This, again, is also going to depend a little bit upon the kind of client you have. If you have a client that is training to become an Olympic athlete, that person is going to need to ignore the nutrition that's around them at certain times of the year and push through and just keep eating exactly what they need to eat to get to their goal. If you're teaching, or if you're training, a mother of four kids, and her and her husband are going to be going out of town on vacation for the holidays, it's impossible for me to expect that person to eat perfectly, to do everything right. I have to understand that they're probably going to be exposed to foods in the restaurant, holiday foods, snacks. The kids have to eat. The kids are going to want something in particular. Maybe they want pizzas. If the mother doesn't feel comfortable eating a pizza because she's afraid she's going to gain some weight, or she wants to really cut the calories, chances are good if the kids are eating pizza, she's probably going to have some pizza. So you have to have some level of forgiveness in there. But what I do is I ask them what they like to eat, what's in their cupboard, and then I try to minimize some of the worst stuff and really push some of the good stuff. So if a client is going to choose between, candy or chips, is there any way we could get some fruit into there and get rid of some of the other items? Ask them to slowly make changes. Ask them to make positive changes that they can celebrate, because oftentimes people want to kind of jumpstart a situation. They want to stop eating poorly and start eating really well. It's not going to happen. What they need to do is gradually change the way they eat. So you have to see it as a gradual process, an improvement. Little habits here and there. Habits are really important. I'm going to be talking about that a lot on this channel. But if you can get them to make small incremental changes that lead to bigger ones, it's very helpful. And if you can get them to celebrate when they make these small incremental changes, it's also going to start to build momentum into their program, and they're going to have a better time. So when it comes to what a client wants to eat, again, I usually want them to eat what they currently eat, because it's not going to be really beneficial for them to make sweeping changes, because oftentimes they're going to go right back to it. We see that happen all the time. But if they can make gradual incremental changes, celebrate the wins, try to adjust when there's a failure, and you'll see that the clients, if they are really into it, if they're really committed, they're going to make the changes that are necessary, and you're going to see some improvement. All right, that's it for this particular video. I will see you in the next one. We're going to be talking about managing injuries, and I look forward to having you take a look. Go ahead, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, share, comment, all that, because I'm interested to know what you like and what you want to know more of, and I'll be happy to share that information when I come back. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time here on FitPro Systems.